Very good Tuesday evening to all our viewers. This is Primetime News. We're coming to you live and direct this evening from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing in the news tonight, I'm Joel Outscoon. We start off today with a look at the headlines.
UNP says there will be an issue in meeting state expenses from the 1st of January 2019. Investigations into the incident where councillors watched pornographic material in the Western Provincial Council. Transfer of IP Nishant Silva of the CID cancelled. Navin Disanayake says the presidential election should be held.
Starting off with our lead story this evening. Now, Inspector General of Police cancelled the transfer of Inspector Nishant Silva of the Criminal Investigations Department to the Negombo Division. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said the transfer was cancelled by the IGP this morning.
A letter transferring Police Inspector Nishant Silva attached to the gang robbery branch of the CID to the Negombo Division was issued on the 18th of this month. Senior DIG of the CID DWRB Seniviratnam presented a lengthy explanation when inquired by the Inspector General of Police. In his explanation, the senior DIG has mentioned that IP Nishant Silva has shown extraordinary skills during his 20-year service of investigating crimes. Meanwhile, IP Nishant Silva presented facts to the National Police Commission with regard to his transfer. IP Silva with his team has investigated into the murder of Lasantha Vikramatunga and the assault and abduction of Keith Noya and Upalita Nakun and several other incidents related to journalists. Daughter of Lasantha Vikramatunga, Ahimsa Vikramatunga, had also written a letter to the President expressing her concern and requesting to reconsider the transfer of IP Nishant Silva. The International Federation of Journalists also released a statement expressing concern over the transfer. Today, Inspector General of Police took measures to cancel the transfer of IP Nishant Silva.
The Western Province Chief Minister has ordered for a probe after some councillors watched pornographic material on a computer in the council during the budget presentation yesterday.
The first meeting at the new building of the Western Provincial Council was held yesterday. The new building, which incurred a cost of more than 6.5 billion rupees, is located at Densel Kobbakaru Avenue in Battaramulla. An attempt to purchase 150 chairs worth 640,000 rupees each was for this same building. The presentation of the budget for the next year was the main item on the agenda of the meeting. Permission was granted to several technical officers to enter the meeting to provide support during technical difficulties. When the problem arose, we have given permission to the respective institutions to provide the required support. Sites such as Facebook, YouTube and Google are being used to access corrupt and indecent content on the internet. However, in developed countries, such technology is used for the activities such as banking and telephone transactions. While the meeting commenced with speeches of that nature, 3 members of the UPFA were caught on camera watching pornographic content. These 3 UPFA members were Gunasiri Jainath, Sumit Soiza and Kirti Karyavasan. I have requested the General Secretary to look into this matter and present a report. I was presenting the budget at that moment. If the computer was being used while I was presenting such an important document, it is wrong. Regardless of whether the computers were used for good or bad intentions, it is wrong to divert one's attention during the budget presentation.
Think. Never vote them into Parliament again. Our future and our children's future depends on it.
Now, the capital expenditure in the country has reached a point of serious discussion with the present political situation.
December 31
The entire governing system will come to a standstill if a budget or an interim report is not presented before the 31st of December. A legally appointed finance minister should sign a warrant document if there is a need to obtain money from the consolidating fund. If there is no government accepted by the Parliament, money cannot be paid to state sector employees, pensioners, Samruddhi beneficiaries and everyone else. We are ready to present the budget to be prepared for the year 2019. If the current rogues present it, it will be defeated because they do not have the majority. They cannot claim for a majority just because they take seats. Although we sit at the side of the opposition, we have the majority. We are sure that they will not be able to get a budget approved. By the 10th of January, we have to have $1 billion. Debt settlement and debt management comes under the Parliament. There is a tendency to face a crisis during the next few weeks when settling debts. The majority of 122 will increase to 123 tomorrow. In 2 more days, it will be 125.
තව දවස් දෙකකින් 125ක් වෙනවා.
දැන් මේකේ විපක්ෂද ආණ්ඩුවද කියලා එකක් නැහැ.
There is no opposition or a government. The Speaker has clearly stated that there is no Prime Minister nor a cabinet. Any motion can be presented in Parliament. If they want, they can go for a vote to oppose such a motion, and we are ready to face anything. At a situation where there is no government, money cannot be spent based on the instructions given by the President or the Prime Minister. But they can pay salaries for their departments for the month of December. But can they do the same for the month of January? Ranil Wickremesinghe should leave the Temple Trees. He is now at Temple Trees claiming that he is the Prime Minister. But he is not the Prime Minister. Mahinda Rajapaksa is travelling in helicopters to go to Parliament from the day he was appointed as the Prime Minister. He should stop because that's the money of the people. Ranil Wickremesinghe is an MP and so is Mahinda Rajapaksa. They can only enjoy the benefits and privileges of a parliamentarian. A proposal was made to cut off the Prime Minister's budget. Funds are allocated when the appropriation bill is presented to the Parliament and will be allocated in accordance to expenditure heads. It distinctively states the number of employees in the Prime Minister's office, their salaries and travel allowances. The passing of the budget confirms that the funds allocated until the 31st of December are being spent. If there is no budget for a certain time period, an interim expenditure statement is brought in. It has been prepared by the Minister of Finance. In the case of the Parliament being dissolved without any interim expenditure statement, the President is given the power to spend the consolidating fund till an income and expenditure account is presented. Meanwhile, the Secretary to the Treasury S.R. Artigala says that an interim expenditure statement is being prepared. He also stated that there will be no issue in the expenditure budget up to the 31st of December, and in case of the dissolution of the Parliament, the President will decide on how funds are being spent during the remaining time period. He pointed out that the expenditure would be approved by the new government that would be elected following an election.
Well, now appointing members to the Parliamentary Select Committee has been debated during the past few days. Also, Parliamentary Select Committee is paramount to ensure the smooth flow of Parliament proceedings, which is to be held on Friday. What exactly is the Parliamentary Select Committee? Let's take a look.
When President Maithripala Sirisena decided to prorogue Parliament on the 27th of October, all select committees that existed until that day were automatically abolished. It is a Parliamentary Select Committee that decides on the composition, number of members, task and quorum of the committees such as the Committee on Public Accounts known as COPA, Committee on Public Enterprises also known as COP, Legislative Standing Committees as well as the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. It is the Speaker of Parliament who chairs the Parliamentary Select Committee. A select committee consists of not more than 12 members. The UPFA says since they are in government, they need to have a majority representation at the select committee. The UMP, however, opposed this request. Leader of the House, Dinesh Gunawardena, said UPFA representatives will be named before Friday. MP Gayantha Karunatilaka says the UMP will announce its representatives tomorrow following a meeting with the Speaker. The JVP have nominated MPs Vijitha Herath and Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa as their representatives.
Now, national organizer of the United National Party, Navin Dissanayake, and several other MPs called on the Mahanayakas in Kandy today.
The MPs who visited the Malwatha Mahavihare discussed on the current political situation with the chief prelate of the Malwatha chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera. We are not saying that former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has to be the Prime Minister. We are just asking to act according to the majority. Afterwards, the group met with the Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Dimul Kumure Vimaladhamma Thera. We are not afraid of a parliamentary election, but we are asking for a parliamentary election and a presidential election to be held together. There is no wrong in it, Venerable Thera. We can elect a caretaker government and an independent prime minister and then go for an election. We cannot go for an election in a situation like this. We cannot be biased. We ask that things be done without an uproar in a proper and traditional manner. The group also met with the chief prelate of the Yaskiri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Walakagoda Sri Jnanaratham Thera. We are only asking for a vote to be taken inside the parliament. It is a very reasonable request, Venerable Thera.
Parliamentary ඇතුලේ ඡන්දයක් තියන්න බැරි නම් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේ රටේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය තියෙනවා. ඒකයි මේ ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය දැන් කියනවා නම් මහමැතිවරණයක් තියන්න බෑ කියලා අපි ජනාධිපතිවරණයකට ලෑස්ති
A general election cannot be held because the Supreme Court legally accepted our argument and halted the election. If the President wants, he can hold a presidential election to perceive the opinion of the general public. We have good presidential candidates at present for an election. There is no problem in that. Could be young, could be old, could be middle-aged.
Banduralal Bandarigara of the United National Party convened a media briefing at his residence in Baddegama Galle today.
Parliamentarians have become a joke and we are ashamed to introduce ourselves as MPs to the younger generation. I believe that this country needs a new political system. It was the people who brought me to this position and I will never exchange my position for cash or ministerial positions and will not allow it to be used to achieve someone else's objectives. However, if a political organization to build the country is brought forward, we will have to rethink on sacrificing our positions for the future of our nation without expecting any ministerial positions in return.
United National Party MP Ranjan Ramanayake expressed the following views during a media briefing today.
We too have many problems with our Prime Minister. He does not smile with us. He does not talk to us or answer our telephone calls, and he is not very friendly. However, Mahinda Rajapaksa smiles and is a very friendly person. He hugs us and pats us on our shoulders. However, when he shakes hands with us, we might lose a ring, and when he hugs us, we might lose our wallet. If I see Ranil Wickremesinghe at a wedding in my village, I will never speak to him. Why? Because if he ignores me in front of the villagers, they will start to question whether the Prime Minister and I have problems going on between us. They will also say that the Prime Minister disregarded me. So Ranil Wickremesinghe has such problems. The central bank bond scam took place because of his friend who was appointed as the governor. However, I believe that Ranil Wickremesinghe is still honest. His connections with the Western countries are of great value to our country. There is no other individual in parliament to play this game.
Leader of the National Unity Alliance, Asad Sali, convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
For 25 years, he was appointed as the leader of the opposition 4 times. For the 4th time, he was appointed as Prime Minister as well. He was the only leader who was incapable of completing his tenure. Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only leader capable of writing history of our country on his own. If the UNP fails to reform its leadership, UNP loyalists will refrain from voting for the UNP. If this fails, another option is available, and that is the establishment of a caretaker government that will only include 30 MPs representing all political parties. Our view is that the country must go for an election. Sajith is ready for leadership. However, he is not being given that opportunity. Malik Samaravikrama is to be blamed for this. The reason behind all these issues is Ranil Wickremesinghe protecting these thieves. It is reported that Sumandrian along with 7 MPs are signing a document requesting Ranil Wickremesinghe as Prime Minister, while the other 8 are against this. The JVP says they will not vote to appoint Mahinda or Ranil as Prime Minister.
Ranil agamati wendat api chanda denne naha. Hari niyamai.
Western Provincial Councillor Susil Kindelpetia called on the Chief Prelate of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero.
පක්ෂ දෙකේ කාර්ය
ආයතන විමුක්තිය වැඩි
කරනවා නෝ. අපි ඒ ඉලක්කයෙන් තමයි ඉන්නේ. පළාත් සභාවෙන් අපිට බොහොම සීමිත මුදලන්නේ හම්බෙන්නේ. මේ දේශපාලන කඩාවැටීමට ඒ පක්ෂ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් බලපෑවා.
There are criticism about the current political situation. We have reached a situation where the parliament has also been changed. So the people have a huge responsibility in changing the direction of the country. Western Provincial Council obtained blessings from the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic. He also met with the national organizer of the United National Party, Navin Dissanayake.
Milad un Nabi, marking the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, was observed across the globe today.
The life of Prophet Muhammad must be analyzed. His farewell sermon was of great importance, in which the Prophet says that if the people follow Allah's religion, they will never go in the wrong direction. The President in his message states that the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad was based on the noble concept of equality, and every human being has equal rights according to the Prophet. The head of state added that he hopes the great vision of the Nabi, which carries the message of universal love for all beings, will guide all of us in our day-to-day endeavors. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in his message states, the Islamic nations of the world have always unconditionally supported Sri Lanka in international endeavors and thanked the international community for their continuous support.
BBC 100 Women has been announced its list of 100 inspiring and influential women from around the world for 2018. Ranked at number 23 this year is Sri Lankan marine biologist and ocean educator Asha Divos.
Ranging in age from 15 to 94 and from more than 60 countries, the BBC 100 Women list includes leaders, trailblazers and everyday heroes. Topping the list is Abisoye Ajayi Akinflorane, a social impact entrepreneur of Nigeria. Ranked at number 2 is Ezra Al-Shafei from Bahrain, and ranked at number 3 is Svetlana Alexieva from Russia. Ranked at number 23 this year is Sri Lankan marine biologist and ocean educator Asha Divos. Divos is the first Sri Lankan to have a PhD in marine mammal research and has been recognized as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. Dr. Divos is the founder of Oceans Well, Sri Lanka's first marine conservation research and education organization, and the founder of the Sri Lanka Blue Whale Project, the first long-term project on blue whales in the northern Indian Ocean. Asha Divos, who has made Sri Lanka proud time after time and is a committed and passionate advocate for marine life that our country desperately needs for the future. She has dedicated her life to changing the current marine conservation model to protect the unique population of blue whales, inspiring the future generations of Sri Lanka.
In some buzz around the world now, Facebook and Instagram have crashed around the world less than a day after Messenger went down.
Users on both popular platforms have been left unable to load the sites, and hundreds of people are unable to access their accounts. The global outage has affected users in the US, UK, mainland Europe, as well as parts of Australia and South America. This comes less than a day after Facebook Messenger crashed for users around the world.
Well, in the world of some sports, it's cricket news. Now, Nishan Pires has been called into the Sri Lankan cricket squad for the third test against England in place of Akila Dhananjaya.
Sports First, Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
I am from Aranayaka. I did not have many hopes. I had only one, and that is to become a good sportsman. I was awarded as the national champion. My next goal is the Platinum Awards.
Sports First, Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
Well, on that note, we bring to close this edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you need to know the very latest and much more what's happening around the world and here at home, simply log on to our award-winning website. That is www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Joel Oxkun. Take care. Good night.